Hi, everybody, and welcome. I am so sorry for the lack of post last week, but it's all for good reason. My husband and we decided to take an impromptu vacation. Actually, we've been planning to go to Disneyland and Universal Studios for a while now, but every time we were checking the weather, it said it was going to rain. Although I've read a lot about visiting Disneyland in rains and people suggest it because, there are fewer lines and all of that, but a big part of going to Disneyland for me was also to see the characters out and about. So I was a little worried that if it was going to rain all the time, they may not be out there. But luckily, we found a small window of days where it wasn't going to rain. So Friday, we realized it's not going to rain for the coming few days. So we quickly booked the tickets, we booked our hotel, and Saturday, we were on our way. It was the most exciting thing, and we had such a blast. But because it was such an impromptu trip and we had no plans for it whatsoever, I just quickly dropped all my work on Friday afternoon and I had nothing planned of what I was going to do when I get back. Now, that generally is okay, but when I come back from a vacation and I am so still in the vacation mode, it's kind of hard to get back to routine. Because it came all of a sudden, and 5 days there was absolutely no sort of work, no sort of routine. We were just having fun and going on all these rides, and it was just amazing. But when I got back, I was extremely tired and just no motivation to get back to work. So, here are some things I did to slowly get back to routine. And I feel like these tips might also help someone who has taken a break from art for a while and is looking to get back to it. You haven't drawn or painted or whatever for a few months or a few years. I think this would be a place to start. So here's what I did. The first thing I would suggest is ease in. Don't feel like you have to rush back into work and, I missed 5 days and you're like just super speed getting back into routine. That is something that doesn't work. So definitely ease in. For me, I was so tired because it was so much walking. For those of you who have visited Universal and Disneyland, I'm sure you know there's so much walking involved, and there was 2 days of driving, and as much fun as it was really exhausting too. So what I did was I took the next day off. I took some rest. I just caught up on some chores. I made sure everything was ready for me to get back to work. So it's not like I have to also do the other things when I'm trying to get back to work. So I just took a day off. I gave my body the rest it needed. I gave my mind some time to relax after all this excitement. And that actually really paid off. The next thing I did was I planned and I organized. So instead of just diving into work mindlessly, just starting randomly with something and then realizing, oh, I need to finish something else and then just jumping on to the other thing, I made a list of everything I needed to do for that week and this week, which was last week and this week. So I made a list of everything I needed to do and I organized it in its level of priority. So that way I knew exactly what I needed to do first and what I needed to do next and how I would slowly get back on track and try to make up for days I wasn't working, right? So make a clear list. And also include small things you need to do, right? Like reply to emails or plan your sketches or, I missed an X number of days. So how am I going to make up for all of that time? When you're making this list, just make sure you're not overdoing it. So I actually got back on Wednesday. I took Thursday off and Friday morning was when I was planning what I needed to do. And I considered working over the weekend, to make up for lost time. And I did do that. But what I did was I just worked half of the weekend and not the entire weekend. So I just worked half of a Saturday and that was it. And I took the rest of the weekend off. So this week is completely back on track. I don't feel like I have overworked or I'm feeling too stressed out or anything. I've taken the break I needed, I've slowly eased into work, and I'll be right back on track on Monday. The third and the last tip I have is that start with something small. Right? It had been a few days since I drew anything at all, and I was completely out of routine. So, starting with something big felt immensely daunting and just didn't feel right. Right? So, what I did was I started with something small, you know, I started with some warm up sketches, and then I went on to a few just quick sketches, right? So, just warm up, get your hand moving again, start drawing again, and then get into your projects. And also, this when you start small, it's kind of easier to get things done and you get more things done in lesser amount of time. And for me, when I have a to-do list and I'm checking things off of the to-do list, there's just something about it. It feels like you've already done so much and you're motivated to do some more. So start with something small, do some quick studies, do some warm-up sketches, and that actually steadily helped me get back to routine. And this week onwards, it's completely back on track, back to routine. I'm recharged and ready to go. This trip was such a much needed break, and it was a perfect combination of inspiration and fun. I had a blast being with all these characters that I've seen since I was a child, and just being in that world, seeing kids react to all these characters, it was just so much fun and so inspiring. We had a great time. That's all for today. I hope these tips help you get back into routine. And if you have any tips to share with us, please mention them in the comments below. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all back here next Tuesday with a brand new video. Bye and have a great week.